Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to FhenyiSpeaks, where I talk about everything and anything in hopes that you will learn something. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So today I just wanted to talk about self-love. Yes, this is our second episode on the solo Sunday session, and I just felt like I needed to talk to you guys about something that I've been learning throughout this week. But before I get into the self-love, I want to talk about the message of the day. Well, I thought a bit about this one. It didn't just come at me, but I felt it was still important. And the message of the day is that water your garden before you water others. And the reason why I thought of this, or I thought this would be the best message for today, is because I have had issues with just constantly giving to other people who did not need to be receiving from me. And it's not to say that giving is wrong, it's just that sometimes we are giving from our last reserves, and while we are drying ourselves out, we are making all the effort that we can to see other people overflow. We need to give from the areas that we are overflowing from. So guys, consider your own garden before considering others, and let others take from whatever overflow you have. Ensure that you have an overflow. Getting right into today's session, as I said, I want to talk about self-love. And the reason why this came up to me is because, I have been feeling a bit neglected by myself. I know that you guys have probably been in relationships and you feel like, okay, this person is not available to me, or is not able to be available to me, and it's quite a difficult place to be, because you are trying to reach out, you're trying to bring out the best in them, but you can tell that they are unavailable, unless if I'm the only one who's been through something like that. But that's just how I have been feeling with my relationship with myself. I have been feeling quite unavailable and just struggling to understand what exactly is causing that. And I've had to sit down and just analyze the things that I have changed that are impacting my happiness and my, not really peace, because I feel like I am in quite a peaceful place, but just me feeling fulfilled has been hard of late. And it's something that I'm finding that I have to constantly be, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it is that I need, what exactly it is that needs to be fulfilled within me. I'm trying to figure out the right language to love myself in, because guys, as much as we are so considerate of other people's love languages, we also have to be aware of our own love language and love ourselves in that love language, because we are so intentional about making that effort for other people. Oh, do you love gifts? Okay, I'll get you a gift. Oh, you love affirmations? I will text you every day. What about you? What if you love those affirmations? What do you do about that part? Or do you wait for another person to come and affirm you? Do you wait for another person to make time for you? Do you wait for another person to give you gifts? What do you do about the love language that you have that needs to be fulfilled? Sometimes we have to be the ones who fulfill these areas within ourselves. In fact, not even sometimes, but we have to be the first ones who are doing the work within us before we expect it from anybody else. Another person showing up in our lives to do anything for us should just be the cherry on top. It should just be an addition. As much as we're social beings, and we are here to support each other and to live together, to cooperate or whatever. I think that's the wrong word, but I think we also have to be enough for ourselves in order for us to flourish, because ultimately it's not about dependence. It's all about being able to function with each other, with everybody bringing something to the table. And this is me talking about the social aspect of things, because we are social beings, right? But coming back to us just being individuals and loving ourselves as individuals outside of being social beings, outside of anything else, We have to make some form of effort to know ourselves and to understand ourselves. And that's just the phase that I have been going through throughout this week, because I've been unhappy, if I'm to be honest. I haven't been feeling really good. And I'm realizing that, hey, I've actually been quite neglectful of myself. So, what are the areas that I feel like I could have been improving? So the areas that I'm going to mention, some of them I have already worked on, and I'm going to mention how exactly I worked on them. And then others are areas that I'm working on at the moment. So yesterday I had already recorded this whole session actually, and I thought I would just edit it because I was feeling tired, and I just knew that today I would be drained and too drained to actually come and record. But I'm not happy with the recording. It doesn't sound authentic, and I've actually learned some things over the past days that helped me to get a grasp of what exactly it is that I'm going through. But I thought, let's start with this. I thought that I I needed to do more physical self-care. Because one thing about me, I grew up doing a lot of self-care. If you know me, you know I love face masks. I love ensuring that my toes are done, ensuring that my eyebrows are done. I love to look on point. Okay, and it makes me feel good. And when I don't make that effort to take care of myself, I don't feel good. I don't feel confident. You can tell by how I speak, by how I act, and even I feel it that, I'm so self-conscious when I don't make the effort. So I have invested in that. And it's something that I haven't been doing of late. Why? I don't know. Like, I go months without doing my toes sometimes, and I just struggle to find the energy to do them. And I feel like it's an internal or mental struggle that I'm going through. But I was able to make it an effort, to make an effort sometime, and just wake up and do what I needed to in order to get myself together. But it didn't help. That's when I had to dig a bit deeper. And this week I found myself realizing that, hey, you actually used to do face masks and do all these other things, just taking care of yourself. And then I did that. I did that, and I thought that I would be okay. But no, it still didn't help. But in the process of me making that effort to take a bubble bath, to do a face mask, to make that effort exfoliating my face, of which I haven't done in a long time, I then started to realize that I'm not happy because I'm not making my environment one that is suitable for me. And that comes back to the languages that I was talking about, that I thought that being physically available for myself in terms of the skincare and doing nails and everything is what I needed. But the truth is that what I needed is to have an environment where I can flourish, where my personality can do well in. I'm quite an intellect, so reading or learning something, of which I haven't been doing in a long time, is something that helps me to do well. And we all can figure out what exactly it is that makes us do well, but that is the environment that I have been lacking in. And I have been feeling more and more unhappy because I'm not exploring that area. So I tried to make an effort for myself, and I realized also that I'm trying to dress a certain way, and this way doesn't fulfill me. And I think I could dress differently in a way that, like, I asked myself, what outfit once made me the happiest? Like, what outfit brought out the best in me? And I remembered that, and I was like, you know what, I have to invest more in those outfits. I have to invest more in the environment that makes me the happiest, in the activities that make me the happiest. And that is what self-care is. Self-care is not necessarily buying expensive masks or taking some time out later on in the evening. That is a part of it, but it's not just that. Man, when I realized this yesterday, I think it was yesterday that I realized this. I realized that I was an awful person to myself. you know, because I preach self-love, but then I realized that I like, how could I even love another person and make a safe environment for another person if I can't even make a safe environment for myself? So it's just something to think about, you know. And another aspect where you could just consider self-love in is finances, because finance is a form of self-love. Like finances in terms of you being responsible and keeping things in order and having control over your finances, which is something that I started working on since the beginning of the year. And it's not that I haven't been responsible with my finances. I think last year I actually got a decent grip of my finances, but there's something about the beginning of the year that made me sit down, and I created new spreadsheets, and I created formulas and everything that I needed, and told myself that I would have to check in, like write down every single detail of my finances and ensure that I save as well. Not saying that I wasn't saving, but I didn't understand the aspect of saving. But guys, saving is so important, and just knowing that you have money in the bank and that you are handling it well enough for you to have something left out for you to, like, what can I call it? Some wiggle room. You know, it's so important to be able to control your money to that extent, no matter how small it is. So I realized that that made me feel so much better about myself. So I invested in, yeah, just I made the time, and I took down some details about my finances and previous records as well, and just looked at what I was doing with my money and began to understand as well where money was sort of slipping through the holes, and also understood ways that I could save and why I should be saving. And I can happily say that now I've managed to get to a point where at the end of the month I have something left over, and I also have something in my savings, and my savings are not what is left over, of which I feel like I used to really struggle with. But it's so important to just have that management with your money. One thing that I dislike saying or even thinking is the words "I am broke," because I don't believe in being broke, guys. I don't believe in being broke. I don't believe that I, under my name, could ever be broke. It doesn't look good on me. It doesn't sound good with my name. I don't know. I just believe that I should be a woman who has enough. And if it's not enough, then it has to be more, and it could never be less. And I should never ever be complaining about finances. And I've just created that environment for myself, that platform for myself to just flourish in my finances. And I can just tell that in a few months, I know that things are going to look so much better with the routine that I have started. So make that effort towards your finances. Make that effort to improve your finances, not just by finding other things to spend on or better things to spend on. Sometimes just save. Like, saving and walking around knowing that you have something in your account feels really good, guys. I don't want to lie. So just try to be that girl who has it down, who has it under control. And if you're not a girl, try to be a guy, a person who has it down, who has it under control. You know, you want to be that person. And yeah, besides the whole finances and just creating the right environment for yourself, self-love is defined by us as individuals. You know, you decide ultimately what exactly self-love looks like in you. It will look different and in different seasons. That's something I've learned, that there are seasons when I will flourish in many different ways. Because like I said, I'm happy, but not my happiest. And I am at peace. And that's because, you know, the aspect of my emotions is doing well. My social life is doing well. Mentally, I'm doing well. I've been making the necessary efforts, but there are parts that have been lacking. And I feel like you can invest in one area and then when that area is able to sustain itself, you can then invest in a different area. And that's just what life is. You never have it all figured out, and it never really is all working out at the same pace, at the same level every time, because one area will need to grow in another season, another area will need to grow in another season, another area will be able to sustain itself, another area will start to lag, and then you'll have to go back and forth like that until literally you die, you know. And I don't mean to say it like that, but then until the end of your life, the end of your days, that's exactly what will be going on with your life. And that's what life is. Life is a whole journey that is different in many different times, and that's actually something that I've learned this year as well. I feel like I'll slip that in, that you know what, life is unpredictable, but the one constant thing that I've learned of life, the one constant thing that I've learned about life is that the unpredictability is very predictable, because you know that you will have bad seasons, and you know that you will have good seasons, and you know that there are times when you will be at your happiest, where you can't even like right, and then there are times when you will be at your worst, or you're going through a whole lot, you know, that you feel like you can't handle it and you can't get out of it. Because I'm sure that we can all look back and think to something that we have been through that we thought that we could never get out of, you know. So life is predictable in that sense, that it's going to throw things at you, and it's important to always be conscious of that. Don't ever wake up feeling like life has to be perfect, because it's not going to be perfect, and that expectation is going to get it's going to get messed up every time you are going through life. You know, every time you start facing something, you are going to be very disappointed by life if you're going to expect only good things. So one thing that I've learned, truly learned, and I think I learned this last year, is to just be conscious of the fact that life is never going to be perfect, and that has protected me from so many more heartbreaks, because now I'm just like, I know that this will pass. You know, I know that this is happening for a reason, whether I need to learn, whether someone has to leave my life, whatever the case is, it's inevitable. It has to happen. And yeah, it's something that I just want to throw out there as advice, that just always allow yourself to be conscious of the seasons that you're going to face, because you know that it could ever prepare you for this life. The only way you can prepare is to be conscious, okay? To be conscious of the fact that not everything is constantly going to go well. And with that being said, I hope I did make a lot of sense and I did say things that are useful to you guys. Thank you guys to those who subscribed, and to those of you guys who are listening, who are here. I really love and appreciate you guys. I hope that you subscribe if you haven't, and I hope that you do comment, share a like, and like right down there. And if it's on Spotify, I don't know what happens on Spotify, but then thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys next week Sunday on our next solo Sunday session. Love you guys. Mwah.